Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Forehand Disc Golf. This was a round that we played this morning at Universal City Disc Golf Course. We played the shorts. This should be nice and short for you. Haha. That is a Fusion X Vandal. Threw it straight into a tree. Then I reached for my Lucid Suspect, threw that into a tree, and we're off to a really good start here on hole 1. Then I missed the putt, setting myself up for a great start with a bogey. Still trying to figure that hole out, throwing only forehand. Need to throw it out further to the right, let it come back. Hole number 2, nice little short hole. Have to throw through that Mando, through those trees, go for the Lucid Suspect. Want to throw it shorter, and you can see you can kind of skip up to it because I don't want to go long into those trees. But I just think I didn't skip. Throw the berg. Got really lucky on that tree to then putt it in and save a par. So staying at +1 through 2, kind of to be expected for me. Wanted to try that Fusion X Vandal again. As you can see, it just started turning almost immediately out of the hand. Gonna keep playing around with that, try to figure it out. So I reached for my super flat top Lucid Felon. Just needed to bring that to the inside a little bit to let it skip up there, hit that tree. And then I chickened out right when I was reaching back, but able to put that in for bogey. So starting off +2 through 3. Then this one goes way off to the left. I do miss a putt that puts me right there. So this is a putt for par, and I tap that in for bogey. So +3 through 4. Reach for the berg. And looking at the footage, it looks like it may have nicked the bottom of the cage. But when we were there, I didn't see it, but it was really close to an ace, but was able to tap in for the birdie to get me down to +2. Reaching for my Lucid X, Chameleon, Ricky Wysocki Raider, and was able, I thought I was way off, but luckily was closer than I thought, was able to put that in for 2 birdies in a row. Again, now I'm at +1. This is a really easy hole. Overthought which disc, what shot, didn't want to put too much on it because the basket is right on that line, but as you can see, it's another 40-50 feet past it. So next time, want to throw it lower, and can't wait to get out there and try that shot again. Gave it a good run, but had to stick with par. This was just a bad shot. I threw it flat, it turned over, and then I put way too much spin on it, so it just rolled. Luckily, it actually did stop in these trees. There's a small gap through this tree right in front of me to the right of it, but you can't let it go too much, and so I throw just to the right, do nick the tree, hit another one. As you can see, didn't end up too bad, giving me a pretty short little putt for par, which I barely sneak it over. But I'm happy to save par. It's just that one on a forehand is tough to get the bird. I'm going with a flex with that flat top Lucid Felon going over the top. We hear it hit a tree because that pretty much is right where the basket is. And we were talking about it right here. I think I could hear it hit one of these trees up there, and then it always rolls backwards down that hill. And that's what it sounds like happened. I hit one of those trees up by the basket, and then I went and hit the top of the basket. So I was just kind of hitting everything. I'm able to get a par, which on that hole, I'm okay with. This hole drives me crazy, throwing forehand, putting uphill, but this is really good practice. So go up there with my Lucid X, Moonshine, Chameleon, Maverick, and I'm able to put it right there at the base. You'll see it's pretty close to the basket. Do kind of have to straddle out, and on the backside is another really steep, not cliff, but you know. Anyway, get the par. This time, turned over my Lucid Suspect. Really wasn't that good of a throw. I don't deserve it to have a look. and I don't capitalize. I hit the top of the band, which I've done a few times already. This hole is very short, so you throw a hyzer with a VIP anvil, and it skips up right behind the basket on the hillside there and just kind of nestles in these roots. Weird putt, but able to hit. You're throwing straight down into it, so able to get the bird, and that brings me back to even. Lucid Felon, I was going right at the basket, just too high, and so thrown into the tree, it throws you into this ravine. I'm able to putt out of there, hit this very side of the basket, and kicks me a little long, but able to tap in for the par. This hole, it's way off there to the left, so I have to curl around it. I reach for my Lucid X, Chameleon, Moonshine, Maverick. I got to give it a little bit more height. That was an attempt to just put it right under the basket, hit a root. There you go. No, you got par is fine. I am absolutely fine with that. He's tossing me that Vandal that I was able to give a really good run. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna throw the Vandal here, and I throw it straight into a tree. It turned over pretty quick. Definitely didn't get that thing figured out. Then this was a horrible shot. I don't know why I went with the suspect over a Berg or my judge, but too much speed gives me a long run. You can barely see it, but if you look buried all the way to the right, put that putt in. This was probably one of my favorite shots just because this hole gives me nightmares because it's a low ceiling, fairly weird gap. At first, we're actually talking about right there, is they were like, oh, if you give another 30 feet, you have a run. Actually, I gave it a run, and I'm 40 past the basket there behind those trees on the left, and had to pitch up there for a birdie. Here you can see I am on the phone going through some family stuff, and then having to throw. Not going to zoom in because I just hyzered it and kind of threw out of frustration, and it definitely didn't help the rest of the round, but luckily everybody's doing okay, and got to keep playing disc golf. So I take the par there. This was just right after that. I put that Hybrid X Trespass on just way too much hyzer. It did pop up, but I also didn't aim it right, and then with the Berg tried to throw it in, be Mr. Fancy, and threw it way past, actually giving me a tough putt. For me, for a normal person, this is pretty easy, but for me, that's a tough putt, able to sink in the par. So all in all, end up at even, but appreciate y'all watching Forehand Disc Golf, watching this quick round. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you on the next one.